Benfica Podcast is one of the founding members of Benfica Independent. Benfica Independent is an independent platform made by fans for fans, and in it you can find opinion articles, podcasts, including ours truly, and also modalidades, if you will. We're also on Patreon, patreon.com/Benfica Independent, where you can get merch, you can sign to get exclusive content, and share your Benfiquismo.
Ser benfiquista é uma crença.
É uma religião muito grande.
A fé é um culto que é liberado, que crê, que é mental, que é o caráter das pessoas.
A alma de quem é grande, maior que os maiores. É uma paixão que não tem explicação.
Eu não consigo explicar o que é ser do Benfica. Eu sinto o que é ser do Benfica. Há de facto uma paixão e as paixões são assim, vivem-se assim intensamente.
Aqui não há nenhuma razão. É paixão, paixão, paixão.
Ser Benfica. Até à morte.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Talking to the Law Benfica podcast. My name is Alfredo Fumaças. With me, as always, Cristiano Oliveira. Cristiano, we were talking before we came on, right before we turned this on, that I can't remember last time I was this happy to come and do a podcast. What about you?
I'm excited. I'm ecstatic every time I do a podcast with you guys. I mean, I've turned into positive Cristiano over the last couple of years, so I'm not as miserable as you guys. I'm pretty much thrilled. Just don't go look at the video over the last couple of weeks because my frown might not indicate my happiness.
Yeah.
But trust me, I'm really deep down inside content.
Dave de Oliveira, I'm assuming that you're happy.
I'm happy, and just based on a couple of the Friday's chats already going, they're saying beautiful day, beautiful night. Everybody's happy.
I think we deserved a night like this, a result like this for a while.
If you're not happy, we could send a couple of truckers your way and rescue you. You know what I mean? I'm just saying up there in the Great White North. I got you, bro.
We're very excited for tonight's episode number 441. Before I'll let you know what we have on tap, I wanted to welcome Dave Rodrigues. You might know him on TikTok and Instagram as How to Cook Stuff. The guy behind those hilarious videos where he cooks traditional Portuguese dishes and sometimes not so traditional Portuguese dishes. He is a Benfiquista. If you follow him, he wears the Benfica colors all the time. How you doing, man? Thanks for joining us.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. And I'm very excited to be here. And I do get a lot of crap for wearing the colors sometimes in those videos, but it just comes with the territory. You just got to be ready to take it.
Awesome, man. So thank you so much for joining us once again. On tonight's podcast, the Vizela recap, the Ajax recap, and we'll look ahead to Estoril. But before we get into it, Dave, let's talk a little bit about the success you've had with this channel, man. What is it, 13,000 followers on Instagram? I don't know what you have on TikTok because I've never been on TikTok. But
So I actually started on TikTok. So I have 30,000 on TikTok, 13,000 on Instagram, which it doesn't sound like a lot, but like when you're in Florida in the middle of no Portuguese people, that's actually a lot of Portuguese people. I feel like, you almost feel like a lonely pork chop here in Orlando sometimes, but I kind of don't feel that way anymore because I'm constantly talking to Portuguese people now. And even to talk to you guys makes it even a little bit sweeter because when you guys speak Portuguese, from what I know on the podcast, you sound a lot like me and my friends and my family. Whereas on Instagram, you meet a lot of people with different accents and stuff.
Yeah.
But you guys sound a lot like home to me. So it's good to hear.
Where you from in Portugal?
So my mom is born and raised in Lisbon. My dad's from the north. He's from a little town around the Resende or Viseu. And there's maybe 200 people in this town. It's very, very small. But he moved to Lisbon when he was 10, and he was raised there. So basically, both sides kind of convened in Lisbon. So that's where I spend most of my time when we go over there.
Yeah, awesome. How did the inspiration come? So let me ask you this: Are you naturally a cook, or was it something that you just started up as just experimenting? Or you're watching your mom? Because I've seen videos with your mom also. She makes that nasty cozida portuguesa. Where'd you get the idea to start these videos, man?
I always kind of cooked. I actually had this discussion with my mom because I told her I basically learned cooking because we would she would like leave us home in the summers and go to work, but we weren't allowed outside because we couldn't
Sounds
play with
like
the American kids.
it's so Portuguese, man.
So I was like, all right, like I got to figure out something to do. So we'd cook our own meals and stuff. And she swears that never happened, but so I always cooked a little bit for me and my sister. And then when I got married, I was kind of the cook of the house. But I started the page off during COVID. I was just bored and I wasn't even making Portuguese food. That's why it's called How to Cook Stuff, because I was just cooking stuff, tacos and whatever, nachos, whatever. And one day I posted a bifana, and like TikTok kind of went crazy because there was no Portuguese food on TikTok, and I was the only one doing it. And I just kind of continued doing that. I was like, hey, I think I found a little niche here, and I kind of started gathering this pork chop community from around the world, man. Like it's wild. Sometimes I talk to people from like Australia and stuff, and I'm like, wait, like this is wild, But I kind of pulled this little community together, and I'm not the best cook in the world, but I think people just like it because I kind of talk shit while I do it, and that's kind of the shtick there, I guess. But it's just a little entertainment to kind of break up the COVID, and now as COVID dies down and stuff, I'll just continue doing it, and hopefully people continue watching.
Don't espera aí. You're not a real cookers, right? You're just a
No,
celebrity, Portuguese celebrity cookers on TikTok.
Yeah, no, I just do it for fun, but I'm not a professional cook by any means.
No, but let me tell you, some of that shit just looks delicious, man.
It
looks delicious.
I've been doing it for like a little bit over a year now, and I can say like I'm actually good at it. Like I have a set of Portuguese neighbors down the block, the really only Portuguese people in Orlando, and I've had them try the food, and they'll vouch for it. So I've gotten a lot better.
Yeah, that's the funny thing, right? Because it looks great, right? But you don't know if you got too much salt on that shit, so much pepper, if the food is not cooked correctly, but it looks delicious, man.
Yeah, my neighbors, they had their family over from Portugal over Christmas. So I brought over a little tray, and I was like, this is the first time I'm going to test this. I'm like, true Portuguese people off the boat, So they all gave me rave reviews that night. So, I feel good about it now. But, yeah, I've gotten a lot better over the last year.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome that somebody could do that out of just like something that you're bored, and then all of a sudden, just people start gravitating towards the account, and they follow it religiously. I know that once I started following it, I was just like, man, it's great because for me, I'm not a cooker, right? I could probably do um estrelado e uns hot dogs, but that's about it. I don't even know if I know how to cook rice, to be honest with you. But no, I'm not a cook by any stretch of the imagination. But it's great because you make it look extremely easy, right? The videos are short, so it's easy to learn. There's no drawn out process. So, you got to cook this and then you got to mix it like this. No, it's just you just throwing shit together, and it's great, right?
Yeah, I think I started to kind of see that. Like a lot of people would comment, like, "Hey, like my mom would always make this. I thought it was so hard, but like now I tried it because you made it look easy." And like that's what I try to do is make it look as easy as possible. Because like living here, like there is no Portuguese restaurants. I can't go down the block and get a bitoque or something. Like I have to make it myself. So I try to make it as easy as possible to follow, so other people get to do it. And I kind of find a lot of people like me, like they live in the middle of nowhere and don't have like the Portuguese restaurants and stuff. So people send me pictures of stuff that they make, based off my videos or whatever. And it's pretty cool to see that because I was completely lost when I got here when it came to food, man. Like there's just no Portuguese food here,
Yeah. And then you found that store whose name you won't mention because they're not paying you, right? Even though
I got a lot of shit for that, man.
This is the only Portuguese store here.
I got a lot. I got so much shit for that, man. But like honestly, I love that place, and like I would watch all the World Cup games there and stuff. Like they're down the block from my job, so I would go there in the morning and get a coffee, watch the World Cup game with the manager, and then go to work. So like I really I know all the people that work there and stuff, and that was just a joke, but I got a lot of crap for that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, let's get into the podcast, man. So Vizela was Benfica's first game over the weekend before this Ajax game. I'll give you the lineup. Vlaco Dimas was in goal, Lázaro, Murato, Vertonghen, and Grimaldo, Weigl and Tarap, Gonçalves, Ramos, Darwin, and Rafa. Vizela coming into this game had not won a game in 5 games. And you could correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, but I think they had a bunch of ties, I believe. But yeah, we struggled in the first round against them. We scored a goal after the 90th minute or an added time, and we were able to squeak by a win. But this this game was much tougher.
I don't know if it was tough.
Yeah, but
I don't know if it was tough.
well, red card for Tarat in
Yeah,
the
but-
7th minute. It made things
But yeah,
difficult.
But at least, again, I knew this was going to come up at some point. But if you remember that game in Vizela, Benfica nem tocava na shisha. It was a totally different game. Benfica, at least this time, even down a man, they still had plenty of possession. They still created a couple of real crazy opportunities. The goalie had a phenomenal job, stood on his head. He was by far the player of the match. He was the only thing that prevented Benfica from walking away with the 3 points in that game. And if you guys recall, Dave, I don't know if you have the stats, but that game in Vizela, that shit was depressing.
It was depressing, like many
Because-
games this season.
Because we're talking about a team that had just been promoted. We're not talking about one of the, Guimarães, Braga. Braga's been a lot better lately, but Guimarães, a team that's been historically in the Portuguese first division, with the exception of going down a year or two. But over the last 30, 40 years, they've spent most of their time in the first division. We're talking about a team that had been in the first division like in the 80s. And we go into their little shoebox stadium. Epa, a gente não tocava na shisha.
Coached by Zé do Boné.
Exactly. My man with the bonnet, it was impressive because that team, it wasn't the prototypical Portuguese time wasting, put the pé para frente, rezar 50 Ave Marias. And no. They actually played football. So I knew this was going to come up, and I understand Benfica, when you look at it on paper in terms of, well, I didn't watch the game. They got a red card in the 7th minute, so, hey, it must have been a tough-ass game. But it wasn't. If you watch both games, Benfica actually had a tougher time with 11 men months ago than they did in this game. I thought the difference when this game was Pedro Silva, Miguel Silva, whatever his name was, Dave, I don't know, correct me, the goalkeeper, but
Silva something.
Silva son. That dude had a couple of saves, especially that header on Darwin. That is world class. I mean, you got shoes olhos, but hey, it is what it is. You got to get there. It was world class. So again, I get it. That red card, and to me, it was a red card. I get that people, 5 foot on VAR, and VAR only works against Benfica. I agree, but I can't get too upset because to me, that is a red card.
Yeah.
I don't think it was malicious. I don't think it was intentional. I think, look, it was a football play. He went for the ball. It wasn't out of frustration. It wasn't and I'm not defending the guy because obviously, I got a soft spot for 49 adult up. But in my estimation, it was a red card. It was warranted a red card, and I'm fine with that. My only problem with that whole play, and it has nothing to do with that one player in particular, but it's the fact that the criteria is differently throughout the rest of the league. You can point to another 6, 7 identical plays where, in instances, you don't even get a foul call. Now, I'm not trying to say, 2 wrongs make a right. To me, I am 100% okay with that being a red card on the Delta Top. I just hope that going forward, obviously can't change the past, but going forward, I hope that the referees use the same criteria and that this play is called the same exact way, regardless of what team it's for. But it's a red card. And I thought Benfica still played decent enough, and they created the better chances to walk away with the 3 points.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we had a play at the end of the game that was very similar that they didn't bother even to review. You just give a yellow card and that was it. But, following that same criteria, you could have given the red to the Vizela player, but you didn't. Dave,
Which Dave? We got the cookers.
Pois é, é verdade, é verdade. The Oliveira.
Yes,
Would
me.
No, you're Oliveira.
Oh, okay.
Dave the Oliveira. What'd you think of the game in general, man, and how hard Benfica had it? If you think they had it hard, Cristiano doesn't seem to think.
Benfica did have it hard, but they played well. I'll agree with Chris there. They definitely played much better than they would have away at Vizela earlier in the season there. But it's an uphill battle there as soon as you go a man down in the 7th minute. Yes, I agree. It's a red card. Yes, there's inconsistency amongst the league. And sorry to break Cristiano's heart here, but the inconsistency will continue here. It's it's not going to get solved after this VAR with the Tarap's goal. But sometimes this is what the team needs. The team needs to get punched in the face or slapped in the face first to go and play their game. It's hard to say now if they had 11 men, if they would have played the same way. But you could tell that the team had a sense of urgency to go and get the results. unfortunately, that they weren't able to get away with the 3 points at the end of it. But there was items that were stacked against this team, and it wasn't just Vizela. I don't want to make excuses here, but there were a lot of questionable non-calls, and just the fact that VAR goes to this but doesn't go to others for other matches. But at the end of the day,
Yeah,
it is what it is, right?
no, because I remember when VAR was introduced and it was announced that VAR was going to be in the Portuguese league or implemented in Portuguese league. My comment on the podcast was the VAR is only as good as the guy that's there. If the guy ignores a call, just like the guy on the field, he's not going to tell the guy on the field, "Hey, you got to go check this out."
No, that's correct. But what happened in your estimation? You did not, and I didn't. I didn't foresee this, guys. I mean, I'm a guy that like to see a lot of shit. I do tend to see a lot of shit in the future.
In the future,
but we did not foresee or anticipate that the guys running the VAR will be a bunch of ceguetas. You know what I mean? That's
We
the part.
should've.
When you send ceguetas, it's gonna be difficult. You could have a VAR. Look, bro. You can have the biggest screen, the smaller. Epa, un gajo é cego, coitadinho, não pode ver nada, man. Tem que dar desconto.
as Dave would say, "Open your eyes, caralho."
That's right.
Dave, what's your feeling on VAR, man? Do you think it's a good tool if used in England? Do you think it's a shitty tool if used in Portugal?
Man, it's great when it's great, and it sucks when it sucks, right? But it's interesting hearing you guys talk about this because I actually listened to last week's episode like this morning, and you guys are giving the predictions on the game and stuff, and on paper it sounds like that's what's going to happen, right? But like Dave was saying, man, it's an uphill battle after a red card that early on, man. I don't think any of us saw that coming, but what a bust. But
Yeah.
it is what it is.
And then
Nobody won money this week.
no, and then in the 65th minute, they scored. And I there's a couple things that happened in this game, and I think those things were definitely factors to turn this team around in terms of the effort that were putting forth, right? So the missed penalty call, the constant delay of games, and I think the crowd really understood what was going on, and I think the crowd really got in rather than just being lethargic like the team usually is. The crowd got into it and really started pulling for the team, and I think that the team really felt that they were being hard done by the calls by the referee, and they were just being shit treated, if I could use that word. And I think at that point, I think it's when everything turned around, and there was a harmony between the effort that the fans were putting into the supporting the team, and also the effort that the team was putting on the pitch. And I think that after that moment, I think there was something in this team that I perhaps haven't seen all season long, which is that commitment and that entrega ao jogo. And I thought that there was really something that pushed the team and helped the team at least get the equalizer. They had a few chances to go up, but unfortunately, like Cristiano said, the keeper was just playing on his head.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. What else can I say, man? Look, they had plenty of opportunities. I didn't think it was one of Benfica's worst games of the season by any stretch of the imagination. Wasn't good enough to come away with the 3 points. Some positives, obviously some negatives as well, but I think there's a lot of things to be positive about. That attitude, reminded me, it wasn't exactly the same because the effort was different, but that defensive effort when Verissimo got a red card against PSV in Holland, I thought that was a fantastic effort by the club at the time. But in the Portuguese league, you can't say that they put forth this type of effort many times. So it was impressive that this team is starting to believe.
With 8 games left in the season,
still, it's it was important. It was very important because you were on the heels, of playing a very, very important match just a few days later in the Champions League. So these things are important because they are still alive in that competition, and so therefore every positive effort, every positive result is going to build the confidence of these players that have been shaken throughout a let's call it, man, a not a very good season. You know what I mean? So any little positive is going to really get these guys, to believe a little bit more. I think something else that is important to point out, and I'm a guy here on a podcast who normally doesn't pay attention to these things, or as they say, I poo-poo on these thoughts. When people start raving about young kids and this guy and that guy, average guys, and that's the worst part.
We lasciare.
But I wanted to due to the fact that I'm the guy that's always poo-pooing on it. I wanted to.
I was gonna set you up. I
don't. You know what? Like you put me on the spot. Baila, set it up. Baila.
Yeah. So Enrique Araújo came in the game, and usually, obviously, for the majority of Benfica fans, whenever there's a guy that comes in from the Seychelles, like, everybody gets excited about that, thinking that they're the next coming of Renato Sanchez or João Felix, but that's not the case all the time. And the thing that surprised me was that when I was talking to Cristiano about the game, he told me that he was impressed by Enrique Araújo.
Say impressed. Calm down. Hey, simmer down.
Has hell frozen over?
You know what I'm saying, Dave?
Oh, cookers, Dave. What do you throw on? What do you throw on a cooker spot when it's on fire? You gotta throw salt. What do you throw?
I don't know. I don't know.
Baking soda.
No, you don't throw baking soda
How,
on the food
man?
itself. Tô fudido contigo. Tu estragas logo o prato. You throw, I don't know, whatever you cookers do to bring down the flame. Whatever that is.
Take it off the fire.
Lend some here to my man Alfredo, because the chamas estão muito elevadas. Calminha, bro. I don't know if I was impressed. What I said is I liked what I saw. And I'm surprised that this kid hasn't gotten the pub that these other average guys have gotten over time. I think he's a guy that could show it in that one game, that, look, he can't create a shot on his own. I understand he's a small dude, but the effort is always there. He did something, and obviously he scored a game-tying goal off of Gonzalo Ramos' shot. The goalkeeper parried it away, and he was there. Credit to him for being at the right spot at the right time. Put in, and the one thing that was impressive about that kid's performance was here he is living a lifelong dream, right? Like I believe all four of us here have had at one point or another. Even you cookers that you say you weren't very good, but you still dreamt of scoring a golazo at the Estádio da Luz. And it wasn't exactly a golazo, but again, he's living out a dream. He scores at the Estádio da Luz. His very first goal in a Benfica, I don't want to say Benfica shirt, he scored plenty, but in a Benfica first team, right? And rather than celebrate, which we've seen a lot of these egotistical, me type of players nowadays, the kid
Millennials.
just grabs the ball and runs back to midfield. You could tell, and everybody was just, applauding him and trying to congratulate, but everybody had the same attitude. But we're still going to try to get the 3 points out of this. And then a few minutes later, he gets the ball on a 1-2 with Darwin. And my man, he looked like slalom. Parte 3 or 4 guys ali in the grande area. And then I was a little let down. I thought he had the whole goal to pick, and he shot at the goalie. It's like the hardest thing to do is hit the goalie and hit him. But nonetheless, it still takes a lot of creativity. It takes a lot of confidence. And bro, he's been impressive the few times I've seen him play.
Dave, write this date down.
I'm not saying he's going to be a phenom, but I think.
No, but every guy, like you said, every guy that comes out of Seychelles that everybody idolizes it, and I know you're right. People exaggerate sometimes.
There's 2 guys on this roster that have had front covers, that have had special. Everybody, they're already anointed. They try to remove the Cristo over there by the 23. They try to put up their statues already. I mean, you know that. All this guy, you see the push to get these guys. And this kid, he's been doing his work. And the B team, he's been tearing it up. And again, we all understand it's the B team. But again, I think there's a player there, and he shows that he's got ability. And I'm not telling you this kid's going to be the next big time star, but there's an interesting prospect there. That's all I'm saying.
But you will say that unlike Gonzalo Ramos or unlike Paulo Bernardo, you're not as high. You're not as high on those of the two as you are on this kid.
I can say without a shadow, but I've seen enough of Gonzalo Ramos. I still am yet to see that player that everyone swears that they've seen in this what's Paulo Bernardo kid. I haven't seen that on the main squad. Now, is he a phenom on the B team? Fantastic. So was Verissimo. Verissimo was the coach of the year. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. I think in my opinion, you got to come up with a report. My report on him is still, it's not finished yet. It's still, what's the proper word? Ainda não tá terminado.
Incomplete.
Buffer,
Incomplete. Hey, Dave,
buffering.
my man, my primo from Canada. Incomplete. Now, as far as Gonzalo, look, he is what he is. You know, he's a player that gives you his all. He's a player that constantly. I've said this over the last couple of weeks. You praise the young kid for having that attitude, for always working hard, and he understands what it takes. And a lot of times these kids come up from not just Benfica. This happens all over the world, guys. But you know, these kids get promoted from the B team. They come to the main squad. They start reading the press clips that I'm the next, and all of a sudden their work rate goes out the window, and they start believing in all that stuff. And Gonzalo, to his credit, my man puts his head down. He works hard every week. Now, I think we're talking about a player who's got his limitations. Unfortunately for me, but fortunately for some of you guys, maybe might be seeing something I don't see. You guys see something I don't see at all. But he's still young. He's going to get there. But, you know, I praise the kid because he's had plenty. Trust me, there's been plenty written about this kid that my man, he's the chosen one. And, you know, he hasn't let that affect his attitude. So I tip my hat to him.
Yeah. Dave, you want to get on to some stats? We ended up tying the game. We got the equalizer in the 75th minute, as I mentioned, from Rico Rouge on a follow up on Gonçalo's shot, and then we had a couple more chances before the end of the game, but we just we couldn't put it away. Dave, stats, so we can move on.
Yeah, couldn't put it away. Should have got the 3 points, but c'est la vie here. Some not so positive stats here. Third time in his Benfica career that Tarap was sent off for a direct red. It was also the fastest red.
You could have avoided that stat for Chris.
I think we're okay. Friday
I remember
afternoon.
two. I remember that one. I remember the one at Estádio do Dragão. I remember that one.
No, the other ones were.
What do you mean? So then you're wrong, Dave, because that one.
It was the.
Well, maybe that was Taça da Liga or Taça da Cerveja, Taça de Portugal.
There was the one against Braga, and there was one against Guimarães as well.
Braga was Super Taça, though. Wasn't that like Taça?
Yeah, Braga was Taça da Liga. Was the Final Four, I think.
Okay, but
no. He
definitely got one. It
was last year.
Taça.
This is the one that he just got punished for 8 months later
for
pushing Eduardo, right?
Yeah, but Eduardo got no punishment. But he also, but dude, he got one as well in Porto.
I could have sworn that he did.
He got one in Porto as well.
But that was a second yellow. So this one was straight red.
Oh, straight red.
Oh, God, I thought you being picky.
Technicalities, man. Semantics.
Foi para a rua, pá. Vermelho é vermelho.
Vermelho é vermelho.
But this was the fastest red card showed to a Benfica player playing at the Estádio da Luz 7 minutes into the game. So he's creating history there.
You will have a place in the museum for sure.
Yeah. O gajo quando faz as coisas sabe o que está a fazer. É para fazer e ser recordado, para ninguém vai se lembrar, mas why not do it? Hey, set a record.
And what else here? Benfica has now lost 20 points so far this season through 26 games. At this same point last season, they had lost 21 points. So it's pretty evenly disappointed between the two seasons here.
Yeah,
but on to positive stuff here. Come on.
Yeah, I was going to mention something about the VAR. I was actually watching a game, and I forget what game it was in England this weekend. And I kid you not, the VAR
United Spurs, because I saw you tweet right after that, and I had the same idea.
Spurs. The amount of time that it took for the VAR to judge whether it was offside or not,
got a record.
it was less than a minute. In Portugal, it's always the shit gets drawn out so much. Why? Are they looking for excuses not to make the call? Are they changing the angles? Are they changing the lines? I just thought it was great, but it's an example why, and I think that Timo was mentioning something before. It's an example on how effective and how great of a tool VAR could be when it's used properly and when it's not used by somebody that has some kind of agenda or is biased.
I've said this before, and please don't think that I'm saying this now because obviously one decision went against Benfica, because there's been plenty that's gone against Benfica, but I've said it since I saw a video a while back, and you mentioned Timo. I think Timo and I had conversated about this at the time. There was a video circulating on Twitter. I believe it's Australia, that you hear the live interaction between the referee with everybody.
That's correct.
And I've been saying it since then. This should be not just in Portugal, in the whole world. That should be in play. If you want to be as upfront, you want to be as indiscreet, as transparent as you could possibly be, have that all around the world, because now we know what the conversation is being about. And maybe there's something that we don't see that they seen, because obviously they have 50 different angles, 50 different replays. And maybe like, oh shit, epa, they explained it to me. Oh shit, look, I didn't see that. You know what I mean? At least there's transparency. There's none of this, because you really sit there scratching your head with some of these plays that go to VAR, others that don't. You have the one play in the box off a corner, clear hand ball, when Vertonghen, first of all, Vertonghen gets tugged from the shoulders. To me, that's not a foul at all, but he impeded him from getting to the ball ASAP. And then when the guy finally gets to him, he's got his hand. That is I don't give a shit what league that's in. That is a penalty. And I look, I would have said that if that was in the other box against Benfica. That's a penalty all day. Yep. Yet that doesn't even go to VAR.
Or maybe it did go to VAR.
I don't know.
Maybe it did go to VAR and they didn't think it. But it's just, I don't know. It's just something about.
Timo's saying it's rugby. Timo, why?
No, rugby has that. But I think that in Australia, and I did read the same article, they started making the audios of the referees.
Soccer too.
Yeah, the soccer. Making them public. And here's the thing, right? I'm actually a referee, but at a very low level. So there's a lot of things that you talk that's referee language that is law. Law is law. There's no subjectivity in terms of interpreting the law. You got to be very objective in interpreting the law. So when there's conversations between referee, there should be a lot of things being discussed, and it's all technical terms that are easy for the public to understand.
But it's only law if the proof is submitted right away, not 2 years later when it expires.
Yeah. Well, nobody really cares, and the result now didn't mean anything. But I don't see why those conversations shouldn't be made public, because it's all technical language. There's no, aquele gajo partiu a perna a este gajo, ou pôs uns pitões na perna. There's no conversation like that. There's a lot of technical language that's used by referees when discussing plays. So I don't see why they would object to not making those things public.
When this VAR thing came out a few years ago, I had a conversation with Salim, who he is. He's a Hall of Famer in the state of New Jersey, played for Futebol do Porto in Portugal. He's arguably the greatest player to come out of New Jersey, and that includes Tab Ramos, Claudio Reyna, plenty of other guys, but he might be the greatest player ever to come out of Jersey. And we had a conversation about it. I remember all of us sitting around before we had a game and stuff. I was playing with him at the time. And he turns to me and he goes, Chris, now is when they're really going to start fixing games. I said, man, you crazy. No, now they're going to have bigger influence than they do before, because before, human error, you can't go back and forth. Now these guys will have much more control in order to fix games. And I said to him, man, stop drinking. He doesn't even drink. But I told him stop drinking anyways. And fast forward a few seasons later, a few years later, and it's just like, now you pick and choose. Now you really can control games and dictate the outcome of games, because you get selective on what you can go back and rewatch and call and whatnot. You know what I mean? And like, wow, Eba, all these years later, velhinho tinha razão. So if you're listening, crazy.
Like I said, it all depends on the guy who's watching it. Because if the guy has an agenda, it's within his best interest to follow that agenda. But anyway, let's turn our attention to the happy moment of the season so far. There's been, and I was discussing this with Dave Cristiano, a lot of the highlights that we've had this season have been in the Champions League. Getting into the group stages, beating PSV, beating Barcelona, and now this game are probably, if I have to look back at this season, these are the three highlights that I look at for me.
Sim, Alfred. Mas é preciso ser algo esperto para saber isso. Well, you mean like beating... well, we didn't even beat Gil Vicente. You mean beating Tondela wasn't thrilling? You know what I'm saying?
We haven't beaten anyone convincingly.
You mean losing to Porto wasn't exciting? Losing to Sporting wasn't... I mean, what positive results? I mean, there hasn't been much to celebrate.
No.
But now, in the Champions League, bro, we beat AZ Alkmaar, and we're like, I'm a first. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Any outcome, any result in the Champions League is exciting. For a team that went such a long time without getting out of the group since what, 2015 or something like that. It was like the last time. Rui Vitória quarterfinals, right? I think that was the last time.
It was in quarterfinals. That was 16 against Dortmund.
Okay, but then 15 I think was quarterfinals against Bayern Munich. Then I think 17 might have been Dortmund, whatever. But since then, we didn't even get out of the group. I mean, we win a freaking group stage, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't score how do you say on your cooker show? Back these fuck on your cooker show.
Foda-se, caralho.
Hey, we didn't score a goal. We had the worst participation of any Portuguese team in the history. I think it might have been they were being kind. They said Portuguese, but when you're making Portuguese history in the Champions League, it's pretty shit history. So you're probably the worst of the worst too. You know what I mean? It wasn't good. So I mean, now to come out of this and all of a sudden you're winning these games. Hey, Ovla. At the end of the day, the important thing is the result. Not the way we played, wasn't necessarily convincing. But come on, I mean, of course, I mean, we're doing something that last year we lost to freaking PAOK.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. We lost to PAOK, and we didn't even make it to the champions. So yeah, of course, we're thrilled, but we haven't had many other victories this year to be thrilled about either.
Yeah, the second leg on this past Tuesday, yesterday as we record this, at Johan Cruyff Arena. Benfica hadn't won a Champions League road game in 9 games, Dave. I don't know if you had that written down, but I got that. The starting 11, Lacodimo, Gilberto, Otamendi, Vertonghen, and Grimaldo, Weigl and Tarap, Rafa, Everton on the wings, Ramos behind Darwin. Now, there was a lot of questions on whether or not Tarap was going to get the nod in this game.
Who's questioning? Só quem não tem visto futebol.
Burro Barros.
Mas it was Dave. Dave was trying to wind me up, and he did.
Dave was winding you up in a group for sure. I think I expected him to play.
Of course.
Dave, what about you? Did you expect that up to play? Wait, which?
Of course, because he's going to be suspended for the next one, so might as well get the legs in against Ajax, and
all right, now say that with a serious face. Say it with a serious face.
Yeah, you're right. He had the legs. Dave Rodriguez, what about you, man? What's your feeling on Tarap, man? Is that somebody that tickles your fancy like Cristiano, or do you think he's just a moleza bum?
I remember when he first came on the team, man, and everybody had a lot to say. And the one thing I actually remember this podcast for was that Cristiano always had his back, man. And he never let anybody really shit talk that up too much, right? Always kind of gave him a chance. And, like, we're here all these years later, man, and he's on the starting lineup in the Champions League for us and stuff, right? So I kind of have a soft spot for him as well, man, because, like, he's one of those guys who, like, just when you think it's over for him, it's not. He's always there. So, like Dave said, he had the legs, man, so why not? But he's kind of a loose cannon, right?
Yeah. He's a guy that has probably the same amount of upside as he has a downside.
You just know what you're going to get it from Tarap right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
well, I think before you were talking about he set a record. I think if somebody said, like, what record do you think Tarap will set while he's at Benfica? I would have probably guessed something like that, right? Like probably the fastest red card. I don't know, or the most, right? But yeah, I mean, he's kind of, like I said, loose cannon, but sometimes it's worth it.
Same starting lineup as the first leg, and look, we knew this was going to be difficult, and I think the game plan going into this game was going to be, let's soak up this pressure, be compact in the back, let's not give space behind our back to the speed on the wings to Ajax, and let's just hope that sooner or later they expose themselves, whether it's on a counter, whether it's on a dead ball situation. There's a possibility that we could grab one, but man, I didn't expect the first half to be the way it was. We struggled. We couldn't get out of the back. High pressure by Ajax. We just couldn't string a couple passes and keep possession in that first half. And I think that if there's one thing that we've always pointed to Verissimo is not being able to make the right decisions or make moves that are going to influence the game. But I think that in this game, he made a couple moves that definitely made the difference. And I remember Cristiano at the half when he substituted Tarap for Maite. You
Makes
thought
no sense.
You thought
Makes absolutely no sense. He got the result. He got the pot, but that made absolutely zero sense at the time.
Well, let me.
I saw it juiz.
But let me
You can talk all you want.
let me tell you how I interpret that. What the logic behind it, right? Benfica was having a hard time
Getting the ball out of their own half.
Yeah,
Moving the ball, period.
moving the ball. Period.
So you take out the only midfielder that could do that. Smart.
But he can't defend, Chris.
Who gives a shit?
Who gives a shit? You got to fucking defend, bro.
But you have to get the ball out of your box sometimes too. You got to. You can't. You have to listen. This is. Maybe I'm an offensive minded guy.
So my.
I'm gonna say that I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna say that I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet real quick.
Go ahead.
You have to understand this. You are 1,000% correct when you say, well, you have to defend because if you allow goals, you lose. But you know what? You're right. You're 100%. But I'm gonna give you the other. You know, like me and what's my man? The gynecologist. Glass half full. Glass half empty. Right. So you giving me the glass half empty, but I'm gonna give it a glass half full now. Right. Do you know about football? Right, Alfredo. This is new. It's revolutionary. If you don't score, you also can't fucking win a game. You understand that, right? I mean, at some point you have to go forward. And so I'm okay. I'm 1,000% okay with bringing in Meite into this game. I understood why you was bringing Meite into this game. 1,000%. It just made no sense that it was for who it was. That made absolutely. He should have switched to a 4-3-3, taking out Everton, who was not. Did Everton play, guys? Dave, both Daves. Did Rafa play? Rafa, without the exception of losing the ball, what Rafa do? That was
He was better in the second half. Rafa was better in the second half. But let me ask you this, right? Let me ask you this. You're saying that it was luck, that he got luck. You didn't notice the change of Meite being on the field?
Again,
how it changed the game?
Again, on a defensive side, yes, I agree. But I mean, guys, like, do I need to slow down? Because I just said I understood. I told, and I'm a guy.
But if you don't give up goals, you're always closer to winning than if you give up goals.
Let me know when I can talk.
Voila.
I'm a guy. I'm the only guy. And Dave, you know this very well. And you too, Dave, if you cookers and listening. And you, Alfred, especially you, because you've been around me and having a lot of these. I'm a guy that since day one has actually made the argument that I thought Mike Desh should have gotten a better chance, a bigger chance than he's gotten over the time. I argued. I got laughed at on the Benfica FM.
That's no ultimate. Are you blowing on my ears, bro?
Am I? I argued on the Benfica FM podcast, if you recall, when you were there and I was here. I argued that Mike Desh should have maybe been the guy in the middle. I made this argument. I understand why.
Not as a six?
No, just that. No, I said him and Weigl together. I understand why you brought him into this game. I totally do. In that essence.
But they ended up proving Verissim's move right?
Because they won.
Not necessarily.
Yes,
there was a lot more control by Benfica.
Alfredo, if Benfica loses this game,
read Red Baron's.
But let me make my point. I don't like reading. I don't mean in a bad way. I don't like reading other people because I don't want it to influence my thoughts. Alfredo, if Benfica loses this game, he gets ridiculed. He gets crushed because you did not. Benfica you went long stretches in that second half, playing all 11 men behind the ball. They didn't even, bros, put the pep para frente, balão para frente. They didn't even pass midfield. At some point, you need to go forward. And I thought bringing in Mike Desh made sense. I understand it. And again, as I said before, I made the argument that Mike Desh should have gotten more opportunities than he's gotten up to now. But to me, the substitution was 1,000% Everton. Or Rafa, you could have made the argument for. But either one, you keep Gonzalo Ramos up top, you put Darwin on the left, Rafa on the right, and you play a 4-3-3. And then you tell, like, obviously we've seen this a lot too. With Gonzalo Ramos dropping back to the fence. Same thing with Darwin. But these guys can still do the defensive work. But you have a guy in the middle that can control the ball, pick up and maybe spring a Darwin on a counter. That didn't happen at all. Once that happened,
but Maite has that ability too, to spring guys.
So do I. But I'm sitting here on a podcast, unfortunately. I mean,
you don't want to recognize that the guy had a good read and the move that he made was the proper move.
It wasn't the proper move. It worked out, but again, the proper move was taking out Rafa or taking out Everton. That's the proper.
Was it
move.
Luck or skill?
Luck.
Skill.
A guy that ties Vizela at home, a guy that loses to Gil Vicente, guys that ties Sapito, the worst coach in the history of football. You're gonna call that skill all of a sudden? Come on, man, put him over there.
Dave. Rodriguez.
Reed, what's his name? Who was it? LeBaron?
Red Baron. Rodriguez, what was I got it. You watch this game. You already told us that you watched this game, but what are your feelings as you're watching this game? And did you chew on your nails the whole time? How did that go for you?
I was still kind of at work, so I was watching it at work, and I was watching it with English commentary because you can't really get too much Portuguese TV down here. But I mean, you guys probably know it. Like English commentators just shit on us any chance they get. So the whole game, there's just Benfica can't touch the ball. Benfica can't get it out of their half. And I'm just kind of like, man, we're just getting shit on here, huh? And I remember I got up to get something, and I walked back in as Darwin scored, and I was just like, holy shit! Like it was just like everything all that shit they had just thought just didn't even matter anymore, man. And it was just like, man, like they kind of got that old glimmer back of like some old Benfica, man, a little bit of that rush, like it was a big game. But I mean, I'm telling you guys like you don't know, but it's one of these games where like your American friends even text you, like hey, Benfica made it to the next round, whatever. So it was kind of a little bit of a glimmer of that old hope again, because this is what we're hanging on to this year, right? Is making a run at this. So I thought it was a cool game. It was a cool turnaround. I don't think anybody expected us to do that based on the way the game was flowing. But hey, man, fuck it, we did it.
Yeah, and De Oliveira, I told Cristiano that we just Portimonense Ajax.
Pretty much. It's good when it works out on the other way, right? Because 90% of the time in the Portuguese league, this is what the small Mancos do against us, but wasn't pretty by any stretch of the mean. I'm not going to bang on my desk and say that Benfica dominated Ajax. That's 100% wrong. But how many times do we come here and say Benfica's dominated the game and didn't get the 3 points or didn't get the result that they wanted? At the end of the day, it's results like this, and if this is how you have to play to get through to the next round, sign me up for it. It's not pretty on the eyes, but it's pretty on the bank account, I'll tell you that much.
100%, Dave. In a knockout situation, when it's do or die, right? I'm cool with getting results like this, and we often come here on the podcast and say, bro, let's forget all about this game. We don't want to remember this game, but look, we'll take the 3 points. In this instance, the important thing was it was just like PSV. We struggle mightily against PSV. We're probably under more pressure on the PSV at home after Veríssimo got that red card in the first half than we were in this game. Yes, this team, Ajax had a tremendous amount of shots on goal, but none of them were on target. They really didn't score. They didn't have that crazy scoring opportunity. Vlaco Dimo stood on his head against PSV. So I think in terms of quality, in terms of competitiveness, I think in terms of the way that Benfica struggled defensively, I thought that game was a tougher game than this one was. Now, the important thing is, survive at all costs and move on. I'm 100% fine with that. Now, it's okay to disagree with some of the even though it worked out. Don't be fooled. Do not be fooled that a game like this now all of a sudden changes your mindset and changes your idea that this guy could be our coach going into next season.
No.
This game.
Please, no.
The game, the result, not the game, guys, not the game. The result masked his difficulties, his inefficiencies as a coach. Now, you want to turn around and fine. If that's the type of fan you are, that's the way you read a soccer game, you're phenomenal. That's good. We all look at things differently, right? But if you're fine with it, Mike there winning, so it must have worked out. You knew what he was doing. Phenomenal. Yeah, great. If you're one of those guys that looks at results, and phenomenal. Now, if you look into the game, watch the game itself, it made no sense. It worked out, and I'm happy now. And I hope he makes the same stupid substitutions, and we get these phenomenal results. But I mean, in my mind, in my estimate, the way I look, I'm talking about me. The way I look at football, that's not the way you play. Now he got a positive result. Credit to him. And look, I'm happy, but let's not make this guy a savior now. We got to be smart.
No, please, no. Please, no.
Where's our producer Bruno? Because I think he was the one banging the drum.
He was rallying the group up. But I think like my feeling is that regardless whether Benfica wins that game or loses that game, I thought that the Maite substitution made a lot of sense. And I didn't watch the game live, and Cristiano was like, I can't believe this.
Se o Benfica não ganha esse jogo, Alfredo, he gets murdered. Not murdered. No. Murdered in terms of criticism.
No.
He gets killed in criticism.
I thought that the move that he did was very applicable for the read and for what was going on. like I said, we know what that app gives us, and defensive effort is not something that that he gives us. And if we needed to hold the ball a little bit longer and shore up that defense, because you know, if you give up goals, you're not going to win. But if you prevent the other team from scoring goals, you're closer to winning. But anyway, that's Cristiano's opinion. My opinion is of a different one. Luckily, things turned out well. If maybe we're having a different discussion if we didn't lose, if we didn't win the game, but I think this is something that I think that the team tapped into something against Vizela that I hadn't seen this year, which was that sacrifice, that commitment, that investment, that all in terms of the effort that they put forth, and also being a team.
But it wasn't Vizela though, Alfredo. I don't
No,
think it was
that,
Vizela,
that's
but
when
it
I
was-
first
No,
when I saw it.
this started with the 2-2 draw at the Luge. Because a lot of people and a lot of the Freddies and a lot of people on the podcast, Twitter, everybody was shitting their pants because, oh my God, we're going to be embarrassed by this train. We had conversations. There was newspaper articles that Benfica should apply the Ajax mold. And I came on there and said, "Caminha, pa. They're good, Mazo, relax." And I think that 2-2 draw at the Luge lifted their spirits.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Apa, maybe we." And now that, as I stated before, when we originally talked about Vizela, this builds confidence, and I think that would. And all of a sudden, like, "Apa, we could do it." And now, because if we could do this against Ajax, against Vizela, por amor de Deus.
But I agree that we started winning this fixture when we were able to turn around the result at Stade Luge. I think that gave the team renewed hope that they can compete with Ajax. But what I'm talking about is what they tapped in the Vizela game, especially in the last 25 minutes. I think that's something that I haven't seen from this team all year. And I think they were able to tap into that against Ajax in terms of the sacrificing for each other, the extra effort, the commitment. I thought that there was something that I hadn't seen before until these last 25 minutes of the Vizela game. And Dave Rodrigues, I know that you follow the team, obviously, albeit somewhat limited because of what you can get down in Florida. But what do you think? What do you think of this Benfica this season, man? And I mean, does a deep run in the Champions League save the season?
It doesn't save the season, but it kind of I think it keeps us from jumping out the window, I guess, right? type of thing. But I don't know, man. We have rough years. I'm not one of those fans that kind of like really shits on them really hard when we have these tough years, because I mean, as much as I want to win every year, it's just not realistic, man. Like, I mean, as a teenager, I came up like, in the like 06, 07, 08. We weren't winning shit back then. I'm used to this, man. This is
Vietnam.
We have these years, man. But I think I mean, it's upsetting to see, like, when you look at the table and we're in third place or whatever. It's not something that we're used to seeing a lot of, but it's just one of those years, and I don't want to call it a rebuilding year because I'm not really sure what they're building right now. But hopefully the next couple of years are rebuilding years that we can actually get back to feeling good about it. I mean, like, it's very rare to, like, at least in my lifetime, or in the last 10 years, to like go into a random game like the one on Friday and kind of like, you're not worried about it, but you're not 100% confident about it either. Like, that's not the Benfica that I'm used to, right? But there are years that happens, and this is one of them. So hopefully we come out of this and we kind of start turning it around the next couple of years.
So if Benfica make it to the finals and lose for the 6th consecutive time in the Champions League final, you don't call that a good season?
Yeah, no, I would.
It saves the season.
It's something, right?
It's something. It saves it a
It's
little
something.
bit.
It's like if you have frostbite, right, and you lose all your toes except your big toe, that's considered a success, right?
I'm just
You
saying.
still got your
like,
balance, right?
You can still get your balance. You just can't lean. You can't lean forward because you might fall. But Dave, what do you think, Dave? Does a final appearance save the season, or something
think-
less than that?
I've
you?
had this debate here with my my buddies. I think anything short but of finals saves the season. Financially is a different story. I think you and I
65
were-
million
Yeah.
that we pocketed so far.
Yeah. So I think financially it's a success.
So wait, you saying
Uh,
I'm sorry, Dave. We got Luis Diaz so far.
Voila, Dave. Don't ignore him.
No, they paid 60 for him. That's what I'm saying.
Voila, Dave.
But yeah, anything short of the finals, the way how bad the league has gone for us this season, and again with the expectations that we had, I find it very difficult to find it or to call it a success. I think it would have to be a finals run or bust to call this season a success.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think that if we beat whatever next opponent is, and we make it to the semifinals, I don't know. I'm kind of happy with that.
6 years in a row, I'm gonna go dig up Bella Gutman, bro, and I'm throwing him over the Brooklyn Bridge, bro.
We're gonna interview him on the podcast.
That's already been debunked, man.
No, ain't nobody dig him up and throw him off the Brooklyn Bridge.
No.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bury his ass next to Jimmy Hoffa at Giant Stadium. I'm telling you.
No, I don't know. I think that look, as I mentioned before, all the highlights from this season have been Champions League play, which is I know that Cristiano, he gets a lot of shit from his American buddies and the South American buddies because Benfica, aside from Portugal, never really does anything in Europe.
Portugal from Porto.
From
Porto, aside from Porto, not Portugal.
Right. Never does anything in Europe. So I know that when Benfica has success in Europe, it's obvious. It's a motive for us that are so far away from Portugal to be proud. They've said something about friend buddies of his congratulating him because they know that he's a Benfica fan. And it was the same thing when I walked into my job today. The first thing that my boss said to me, we were talking about Benfica. We were talking about Benfica for about 5 minutes, and it's something that us, being away from Portugal, is something that we those are happy moments for us.
It's better than losing 5-1 or 5-0 to
Basel.
Basel.
For
So
sure.
that would have been another 5-minute conversation for the other reason.
Yeah, and look, I don't even care if it was a win Fernando Santos style. A win is a win.
What you mean, like yesterday? That wasn't too long ago, bro.
Fernando Santos won a European championship without winning a game.
Without winning a game, 5 draws, or 7 or 6 draws. Whatever. That last final was a draw too. The people forget it went to extra time. But yeah.
But if you guys notice, myself and Dave de Oliveira are wearing the uniform that the team wore last night, and it's a funny story, right? Because this is actually last year's jersey. And for you guys that haven't read this in the paper, I'll explain. The reason why we play with last year's jersey is because our alternate jersey is white with tones of red, and that was too close to Ajax. If you remember, Ajax played in black when they played at Stade Luge, so we kind of had to tap into the alternative uniform from last year, which is why Benfica was wearing black. And I think that jersey now will be an iconic jersey that will be remembered for this game, I think.
Now, Alfredo, before we go there, don't we have a third kit already this year?
It's that camouflage, ugly-looking thing.
I like it. I have it.
You like it? You have one. Yeah, that's right. I've seen you with one. Yeah, I always thought that there was like a training kit or it's like one of those promotional kits or one of those Save the Oceans. This was made 100% out of plastic. I always thought it was one of those jerseys.
Those black ones that you guys are wearing, though, are badass, man, from last year.
Cristiano doesn't like them.
Those are Those are goalkeeper jerseys.
It does look like a goalkeeper jersey.
No, they're
just like that one you're talking with the camouflage. That's like a pre-game warm-up. It's a warm-up jersey.
Yeah. Or to go if you want to go paintball.
But yes, I'm a guy that normally I get upset about a lot of things, but I'm a guy that normally gets upset when Benfica is not playing in white or red. Even though one of my favorite jerseys, that 15-16 away, the black with the red letter. I actually
the red bar.
I'm a little bit hypocritical, but yeah, normally I for the most part I believe Benfica should wear red or should wear white. But in this game, the Ajax for the coisas todas. They were white and red.
Are you guys into the white shorts or the red shorts?
With the red.
White,
with the red, it's got to be white shorts.
Yeah.
Red shirt, white shorts. White shirt, red shorts.
Yeah,
that's the way it is.
Yeah, the red.
White shirt, red shirt.
Those look right.
White shirt, red shorts.
Okay.
red shirt, white shorts.
That's how it was
Shabi.
in the old,
Nene,
old time, yeah.
Shalana, come on. Those are my days.
In the old times. That's how it was. That's Dave. You got quite a few jerseys, man. Do you make it a point to buy one every year, or?
Yeah, dude, I'm in my garage right now. If you guys can't tell, because my baby's sleeping inside, but I have a whole tote, like a big ass box over there of like every jersey from like I don't know, probably '99 till now, I guess. But
Awesome.
I always try to get like the one polo a year and one jersey a year, and my wife will buy stuff for my birthday, whatever I can get here, really. But nowadays it's a lot easier to just order stuff from the Benfica store, from Pegasus in Newark or whatever. They'll ship it down here, but I try to keep up with it.
You don't like to say company store names because not pago, and now you just
Oh shit! You're right. You're right.
We got where's the we have a beep? Yeah, we have a beep somewhere. Next beep. We're gonna have to fix this. Olha aqui. All right. We fixed.
Have you guys ever heard of Kinash beer? Kinash division?
Yes. I just learned of that recently. I didn't know that's been around for a while. Portuguese beer, Kinash. I had no idea.
They're actually their new sponsor of mine, so I'm gonna
really.
Yeah.
By the way,
they sent me like 100 beers to my doorstep the other day, and I was like, "What am I gonna do with all this, man?" Like, so I've been having my American friends kind of try it out and stuff. But yeah, they just signed me up like last week, but it's pretty good.
I'm a beer guy. Olha agora. Tell them to send it over my way. I just wanted to say that you're flexing. That's a total flex right there. He's got the golf cart. That's telling you I live in good weather. Look,
garage, man.
Flex right now, Bob.
Yeah, he's got the golf cart with the Portugal scarf, and I've seen the Benfica scarf on that cart too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I switch it up every once in a while. I got the Benfica flag up there in the garage, but that's probably the only one within like 10 miles or 20 miles, man. You don't see much of that around here, but yeah, man. Like I said, I got the baby sleeping inside, so I figured the garage was a good spot to kind of come and talk to you guys.
No, it's nice, man.
Fazer live, you cookers, and we do a podcast at the same time.
The weather is nice here, though, man. It's like a nice 70, 75 right now. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
That was the highest temperature here in New Jersey today.
Something. It was nice today.
It was up there, yeah.
It was beautiful.
It was nice.
But they get that all year round, though.
Yeah, they do. And sometimes more. What else can we talk about this Ajax game, man? I just that's all I want to talk about.
I wanted to say that it was impressive. And before you interrupt me, let me finish. I thought that the pregame choreography, whatever the hell you call it, como é que vocês dizem? Isso. I thought it was beautiful.
Com as bandeiras e o caralho.
See, I when they had the white bandeiras, that reminded me what they did to Jorge Jesus, but that wasn't positive though. I don't think that was choreographed. But I thought that I think Benfica should do something. That the atmosphere at that stadium, you felt it. It was impressive. Even though it was bonito because era vermelho e branco, so you're like, oh shit, you close your eyes, think it's Benfica real quick. But that was impressive on their part. And then obviously, man, the other part, that's why I said don't interrupt, because I figured you jump in. The support by the Benfiquistas.
Yeah, there's a couple of videos, man. 3,000 strong up in that section.
I just wanted to say I hate you sons of bitches.
Yeah.
Because I'm a jealous mofo.
It's a good jealousy.
That is phenomenal. I mean, credit to you guys. Tip my cap.
Yeah.
Some of you guys levam porrada torta e direita and you're still there. You're a better man than me.
No, but I think that usually the Netherlands
they got beat up.
They did?
Again too, yeah.
There's a bunch of videos on Twitter. There's one that they're in opposing sides of a canal and they're going 1904, and I could have sworn that somebody was going to fall into the freaking canal.
That's what I was expecting.
and then there's one that is taken by an Ajax fan that recorded the Grimaldo free kick, and as soon as they score, he points up at the section, and that section is going absolutely berserk.
What I noticed, they all. Porque estavam muita cerveja.
They was throwing beer up in the air.
Quinas, sponsoring guys. Drinking the beer. No, throw the beer. I mean, come on.
Yeah. No, it was, look.
Fantastic.
There hasn't been a lot of things that we could hold on to in terms of how the season has gone. And certainly this was something that, man, it just, Dave is showing the video now.
Olha aí. Queres ver essa cerveja? All they cookers. Olha a cerveja. Think about all the codornizes you could do with this beer.
Oh, man, I haven't heard that word in a long time.
Well, he points up.
Olha ali. Epa. Nice marinade já foi com o caralho. Olha aí. Viste?
Yeah. No, that was That was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That was
I
awesome.
like
man.
that. I like that they got the roof over there.
Yeah, just so
In Portugal, they don't got that shit. Tu levas com aquela cerveja toda nos cornos. Now you go over there with your nice suit, your Sunday clothes, you fall into aquilo tudo.
Sunday clothes.
É, pá.
Vais à catedral com your Sunday clothes,
levas
right?
os Sunday clothes, já estragaram tu Sunday clothes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, man. It was like I said, man. There hasn't been a lot of highlights this season, and certainly this was one of them. As ugly as it is, I hate to lose ugly, but I love to win ugly. So
No, peraí. I hate to lose ugly.
but I love to win.
No, but I hate to lose more.
yeah.
I hate to win ugly, but I hate to lose even more. Estás a entender?
Não.
Pá,
I
ugly
get
up
it,
front.
Faz-me um desenho.
Faz-me
Faz-me um desenho.
Tu não percebes nada disso. Pá.
Dave, man, what were your feelings, man? Did you were you happy for the rest of the day? Did you tell your fiance, let's move the wedding up?
Everyone was sending me congratulations. Actually, some people were sending me congratulations before the game was even over, and I could have killed them, especially with that last chance there by Ajax, which ended up being called offside. So I could have killed a couple of them. But
It's so Vlaco Dima's making saves when it doesn't matter.
yeah, there you go.
But
But
it was a terrific cat. The reflex was crazy.
But
Yeah.
that's what he's known for, right?
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
punch
Yeah.
the ball, grab the ball, not his forte. But
That's a tough save, man. It's a tough
He's
save.
going one way,
reactions.
and the ball goes the other
and,
way.
he has to get down by his ankle to save the ball, man. That was a tough save.
Yeah, it
Usually
was-
those are really hard. Those are really hard.
Yeah.
Rodrigues, thoughts, man. What were you feeling, man?
Right now or after the
At
game?
the end of the game.
Man, I was feeling thrilled because I knew I was coming on here, so I knew if it was if I was coming in after a loss, you guys would be pissed off. So I was kind of happy we won, so we have some good stuff to talk about. But no, man, like I said, like it's always good to get a game where like people start congratulating you and stuff that like maybe you don't speak to all the time or your American friends or whatever. Man, it kind of makes you feel good. That puts Benfica on the map a little bit every once in a while. So, hey, man, if we make it through the next round, man, I'm riding it. I'm happy with whatever.
Yeah.
Every once in a while when I'm really, really annoyed at a Benfica performance, like, man, or like some roubalheira that you see in Portugal that we've all grown accustomed to over the last, 30, 40 years. And I'm like, I'm done with this shit. I'm not following. I'm done with Portuguese footy. This is garbage. And then yesterday, as I'm watching the game, after we scored, because until then I was relatively calm. But once we scored, and I said, because with each passing minute, he started to believe a little bit more now. Even though they had the better opportunities, they had more of the ball, but you're like, the longer this game goes on tied, the pressure starts to mount on Ajax. Benfica starts to feel a little bit more confident because now, you're going to have very little time left on the clock. And if you score a goal here, all you got to do is hang on for dear life and you come away with an upset.
Yeah. Go ahead, finish.
No, bye.
No, but you know what created that? The fact that we went deep into the game and started having more and more chances.
Well, go Maite. And by the way, I wouldn't call one shot on goal more chances. That's like chance, no sus. Okay. But as I sat there, right? As I sat there after we scored the last 15 minutes, and I'm sitting there, and I don't know why.
We started having more space.
I started going back to, it still didn't create chances. I started going back to those thoughts of, here I was not too long ago saying, F this, I'm done with this, I'm done with Portuguese football. But then I looked down in my chest and my heart was jumping. And I said, bro, I can't ever give up. I could talk all my shit, but I'm never going to give this up, man. You know what I mean? And it's right then and there in that moment that I myself, just talking to myself, my own little cuckoo world. And I said, bro, man, I love this team, bro. You know what I mean? This is their motor, bro. Because, and even after the game, I'm still like jittering my heart and like, and I had to come up, I had to take the deep breaths. You know what I mean? But it was just, man, this is love, man. And this is where Benfica should aspire to be. I think we had this conversation here on the pod a few weeks back where I said Benfica has everything in place to where realistically, man, we should be shooting for quarterfinals. We should get out of the group every year. And then, you get that first knockout stage and anything can happen. And then the quarterfinals, and this is where we are. And now you come up against the big boys. But a bola redonda. We got my to defend, right? And anything can happen.
Dave, your stats are quite extensive, man. Go ahead. I'm going to give you 10 minutes. I'm going to take a pee.
There we go. Well, we'll cut some of them out here. We'll keep it.
No,
nice
go ahead, man. They were all
here.
very valuable.
Darwin with his 26th of the season, 4th in Champions League competition this season. He's one shy of most goals scored by a Benfica player in a single Champions League campaign. Nuno Gomes with 5 in 98 and 99. So 2 more games to go. Maybe he might tie or pass Nuno Gomes' record here. During this season's European run, Benfica's only conceded away at Bayern Munich. They've picked up clean sheets away at Spartak, PSV, Dynamo, Kiev, Barcelona, and Ajax now. Where before we were talking about we couldn't get a clean sheet in away European nights here. Benfica is the first team to hold Ajax scoreless since November. That was a 21-game span for Ajax where they had scored at least 1 goal. And the draw for the quarterfinals takes place this Friday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for us here on this side of the pond. Possible opponents for the draw: Atletico Madrid, Bayern Munich, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, Real Madrid, and Villarreal.
I just wanted to add, Benfica, this is the 18th time in their history that they've reached the quarterfinals. And I believe I know so with yesterday's victory, Benfica, I just don't recall the number, man.
Why were you talking shit to Peter Crouch, bro?
Hold on, before I get to that, I'll get to that in a second. But Benfica yesterday became the 8th team to win, I don't know if it's 100 or 200, whatever Champions League games. They become one of the few teams to have reached that milestone. So apologies, I don't know what the exact number is, and I know you Freddy's over there, you Googleiros will figure this out for me. Please post it in the chat. But yeah, look, this is where Benfica should be every year. We should not be a pushover. We should not be the laughing stock of Europe. We should not be a team that loses 5-0 to the Basilos of the world. I mean, come on, man. But long gone are those days. And today we sit here on a beautiful porch looking down at everybody with Sturil up next. And I'll be praying over the weekend.
Yeah. No, you want to talk about the Peter Crouch thing or no?
Oh, Peter Crouch, basically.
Can we show it? Can we show the clip?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
No,
I don't know. Yeah, it's CBS.
is there a clip?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah,
So him
there's
and
a
Michael
clip.
Owen, they were basically talking about Manchester United, about the fact that they also got knocked out of the Champions League, and there was a lot of speculation about the Ajax coach taking over at the end of the year, as their new coach, manager, whatever you want to call it, and basically Michael Owen and Peter Crouch are kind of like, oh my God, no, not now, I can't believe it, not now, because they lost to a Benfica team. How, you know what I mean? Like kind of shitting on Benfica. So I had to remind all 7 feet of Peter Crouch. I would have reminded Michael Owen, all 5 feet of Michael Owen, but he wasn't on the team at the time.
Can you see those two guys next to each other?
He tickles his balls. But Michael Owen was sitting in a chair with a milk crate under his ass so he could be as tall as that. Calera is definitely higher. But I had to remind Mr. Peter Crouch, that this shit Benfica team that they were referring to, because they were mocking, kind of like, oh my God, he lost to Benfica, I can't believe it. That same team whooped your ass not once but twice in 2006, after I believe you were reigning Champions League winners against my AC Milan, after overturning a 3-0 deficit at the half and then overturning, coming back, winning in PKs. But yeah, my man, weren't you on a team that lost twice to that same shit Benfica team? You should watch your mouth. And so if you're watching Peter Crouch, shh, caladinho. Respeitinho é muito lindo. Yeah, right there. Benfica also won the other game 1-0. So it was definitely a 3-0 result. I believe in this game, Mikoli and I believe
Simão.
Simão Sobral scored a fabulous
Yeah.
cranker upper 90. But yeah. I mean, I just thought, Dave, when you're saying show, I thought you were gonna show the video.
Yeah, are we allowed to? Like, I can
Hey,
this video here, right?
If we get
Yeah, but
suspended,
you won't hear
we
anything.
only got like 3
I can-
followers anyway, Dave. So if we get suspended,
Let me
nobody
see.
will notice.
You can't hear it. Don't worry about it.
No. Okay.
You can't hear it?
Don't worry. No, we can't hear it.
No?
We won't be able to hear it.
Oh, we got to work on that.
No, but the video is
Basically what I said.
Yeah, obviously those two guys going back and forth, not understanding that there was a history. I think somebody also said that.
Hey, there's a way for me to share the audio if you want it.
Então vá lá.
Okay.
Make sure you click on the right audio, Dave.
Yeah.
You don't want to.
Não ponhas aí o gajo.
You don't want no home video. You don't want no home
About
recipes.
Eric Ten Hag at the start.
You can hear it, right?
Yeah.
Where might his future lie now? Does it change? Does the story
Peter, your house
change?
doesn't fit that much.
It is, because I was
That's
saying
it.
before the game, he's got to be the prime candidate at the minute.
It's taken,
Listen,
what, 90
candidates
minutes?
are thin on the ground at the minute. Who's out there available? Not many people. And he's not available. He's in a job. But you'd have to say, from being the prime candidate before the game, all of a sudden, you're thinking, can Manchester United go and take a manager that's just been knocked out by Benfica? He's still a good man. One result doesn't change a manager's, his status, let's say. But top quality managers that are available are really thin on the ground. And yet more evidence tonight at Old Trafford that probably a new manager is required there. So where they look, where they find, more importantly, is anybody's guess.
Because they
Vitória is available.
weren't they, as
Yeah,
well?
they-
One
right.
manager that's out of the Champions League. So it's a tricky next
Peter
step.
Crouch is going to talk now.
Smith
But
as
that's
well.
A huge next step. I think who wants to take that? I mean, I know it's a humongous club, massive, but there's obviously deep-rooted issues at Manchester United. I mean, walking through that door now is players with lack of confidence on huge wages, players that want to leave. You know, we've talked about the body language all season. For a young manager, maybe potentially, making his step into the Premier League, it's a big ask.
What did he say? I didn't hear him say anything about Benfica.
Don't worry about it.
It was more Owen. Owen and say just lost to this Benfica team.
Well, whatever. They elaborated on it. But
Yeah. Well, let's think. So we got.
oh, wait, but they're saying Michael Owen was saying there's very thin. These Rui Vitória is available.
George Zeus
Veríssimo
is
will be-
available.
Veríssimo will be available after the year.
Yeah. Go get Brun Lage.
He's got a job.
It's not
already.
available.
It doesn't matter. They got money. What do you call it? So out of the 8 teams, so I'll give you the. Let me see if I remember all 8. Real Madrid, Bayern,
City,
City,
Liverpool,
Liverpool,
Villarreal,
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
That's 6. Need one more.
Yeah, who's the other team? You don't know? Come on, Atletico Madrid.
Atletico Madrid.
João Felix.
So Dave, I'll start with you, man. Who would you, Dave De Oliveira? Who would be your pick?
I'm happy with either Atletico or Villarreal. One of those two I'll be happy with. So the odds are against us, but one of those two I'm happy with.
Dave Rodrigues.
Man, there's that episode of your guys' podcast, like in the fall when we played Bayern, where everybody was kind of like giving us that kind of shit. Well, at least we scored 2, and Cristiano kind of went on this rant of like, man, like since when has Benfica looked at that way? We should be expected to hold up with teams like that. So bring on Bayern, man. I kind of want to get some payback on that. And I know it's not a popular opinion because that's the toughest team probably to say, but you know what, man? Balls to the wall, man.
If we could beat Bayern, we'd definitely send a message to Michael Owen and Peter Crouch.
Man, when you get to the knockout round, in my opinion, man, it's anybody's game on any given day, especially without the away goal rule.
Yeah.
And stuff. So
Yeah.
it can, you wake up on a good day, or you wake up and Bayern's having a bad day or whatever. But no, I'm just messing around. Obviously, the 2 options would be Villarreal or Atletico, but that's kind of a given. But just having fun.
I hate that bearded guy because he must have been. I don't know. He's stealing my thoughts. That bearded. I'm not even gonna say his name no more because that's what I was gonna say. I want to get Chelsea and then hope that they get relegated or punished
I was
or barred from participating. And Benfica makes it to the semifinals.
Yeah, I was watching the Rescaldo on Benfica Independent, and yeah, there was a theory there was a theory that we would get Chelsea, and then something would happen with Chelsea along the way, whether it's they can't spend money or whatever, and they'll be disqualified from the Champions League, and Benfica would make it through the semifinals, and then at that point it was anyone's game. But who would you pick?
I mean, I think the obvious and easiest choice is Villarreal. But that being said, I feel like it'll be a little bit of karma to play them because we didn't like the fact that we were being mocked, right? And that everyone wanted to face us. And if you recall, in that first draw, Real Madrid kind of complained because, oh my God, everybody wanted to play us, and they kind of looked at us as you know the boxing bag, right? The punching bag. And I don't want to do that because I think they're like I said, Benfica at the time, they're a little bit better than what people gave them a little bit of credit for. I mean, a lot of people thought they were going to go into Amsterdam and get absolutely slapped, and I said they weren't as good. But I think this Villarreal team is a little bit better than what people are giving them credit for. So I don't want to pile on them. That being said, I'll pick someone else just so I don't pick on those poor little guys. And I'll say Atletico. I like to play Atletico because you get to see my boy João Felix back at home once again.
Yeah,
Atletico is the type of team with that overrated coach that they look great one day and then the next day they look like they forgot how to play football. It's going to be tough to break them down. They definitely have the quality to cause us a lot of danger and causes a lot of problems. But you know, I do think that they're inconsistent. You don't know what you're going to get from that team on a weekly basis, and so hopefully Benfica catches them. Napping. Benfica did go in there. Gonçalo Guedes got the game-winning goal the first time that they lost a game under Cholo Simeone at home in the Champions League, and maybe we can have a repeat of that. I believe we won 2-1 at the time. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I like Atletico because of my boy João coming back.
Yeah, I like Atletico because they've been inconsistent all season, and I think that they're beatable. I think that Villarreal, despite not having the big sounding names, is a team that has it together, much like Atalanta in the past few years. Dave, Estoril, man.
Yeah. Historically here, 49 wins, 12 draws, and 4 losses against Estoril. We did draw them a 1-1 in October with the late 90th minute goal that they scored. I believe it was controversial. They pushed off one of our defenders there, ended up scoring the tying goal there. But Benfica has not lost to Estoril since November 1950. So years back, we've got their record there. Currently this season, they're in 7th with 34 points from 8 wins, 10 draws, 8 losses. And their last 5 coming into this match, 2 wins, 1 draw, 2 loss.
And this is on the road, right, Dave?
No, this is at home, back to back.
Lose back to back. Okay, I'm surprised. Look, they did lose their best player, Chiquinho. He's over at Wolverhampton, I believe, right? No, is it? Yeah, Wolves, right? He went to Wolves. Chiquinho. They lost their best player.
They bought him. Yeah, they bought. Yeah.
Yeah, he's over there. They had a nice run. They had a nice run at the beginning of the season, but I don't think they're the same team. And without their best player, I think it's going to be that much difficult for them. I didn't know it was playing at the home. I thought they were playing in Studio. Yeah. I was just going to say, I hope that they fix the stand, that there's no more cracks in the infrastructure. Just saying,
Just saying. Just saying.
It's them with the stands and Santa Clara with the water fixtures there.
Yeah, we got. What's our difference to Braga? I was looking at this before, and at this point, I mean, is there interest that we could still go after the second place?
Braga has to worry more about Gil Vicente than they need to worry about us. Yeah, we've got 58 points. Braga's got 46, and Gil Vicente has 45.
Rodriguez, what do you think, man? We shit on the rest of the season and just concentrate on being fresh for the Champions League?
Yeah, wait for the draw, bro.
Yeah,
the draw first.
Yeah, right. Let's wait for the draw first before we call that. But I'll at least talk about the next game, and I think that last game was a little bit of a morale booster, man. So I expect good things this round.
Yeah, I'm always a little bit hesitant in terms of games after a Champions League fixture and especially when you're coming off of an emotional high. I'm always skeptical and hesitant because those games could be a little bit of a banana peel game, if you will. So I'm a little skeptical, but I think that, and at least my feeling is that I think that Benfica is going to have third place is going to be locked in. I don't think Benfica is going to be able to get to second place at this point with 8 games left in the season. And with Porto and Sporting in a dogfight, I don't think that that Benfica is going to be able to reach that second place. So I don't know, but still, it's a game. I think that at this point, if Rui Costa was smart, he would already have a couple guys in terms of names for coaches. Coaches, those guys should be looking at the team. They should be looking at see who's going to count for me and who's not. A lot of these players, they might have that thought in their mind too, because let me play now and kind of pave my way to continue to be here. So I'm going to have a good end of the good last stretch of the season. So I'm not sure, man. I like this year has been, as Dave Rodriguez mentioned, that every time you go to a Benfica game, to watch it, it's just like you don't know what to expect. Really, they've just been so inconsistent, and it's like nothing phases you anymore. What this team has done this season. Shane, what do you think, man? We're gonna keep carrying on the momentum for the rest of the season.
3-0.
3-0?
Digo mais nada. 3-0.
Vou escrever aqui.
I got the last one wrong. I said 3-0 also. Mas o Trap fudeu a coisa toda.
3-0.
You said 3-1, I believe. Dave said
I said 4-1.
4-1. Yeah.
Chris. Dave De Oliveira, you want to give a prediction for Estoril?
I'll go 3-1.
3-1. What about you, Rodrigues?
I'll go 2-1.
2-1. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I think I'm there. I'm at 2-1 too.
Estão fodidos. O Benfica não vai deixar entrar gols contra o Estoril em casa.
So o que tu pensas?
That's all we do.
When was the last time we had a clean sheet? Not too long ago,
Yesterday.
but before that it was a long. Yeah, that's true.
Austin is very forgetful.
Like it's just another game. I hope to be able to ride this high that I got from yesterday's win for a bit now. That I won't be bothered by less than a
I'm
win
a little
result.
bit less worried about that because the games are starting to lose. I think the fans are really going to look. One thing about Benfica fans, even though the last game against Vizela, it was on a Friday, so you kind of understand. But it wasn't the greatest.
Fans, I think that fans will turn out because.
But now because they're appreciative, they
yeah.
see the effort that Benfica put forth. I do believe that the fans will turn out. When's the game? Saturday, Sunday, Monday? I don't even know.
Sunday,
6 p.m. local.
The 26th, right?
The 26th.
The 20th.
Oh, it's 20. I was close.
Já vais quase em abril, pá.
But stop, it was in the 20s. I got the 20 part right. But yeah, I think, look, the fans are going to show up. They're going to be supportive. It's going to be exciting. And I think the players show up. When Benfica look, as you mentioned, Vizela, the few fans that were there, they were making noise and they were believing, they were clapping, and the team had their spirits up. And, once o rolo compressor começa a andar, para parar tá
Yeah, I think that people will turn out on Sunday. It's an early game on Sunday. It's 6 p.m. local.
That's good because now a lot of the guys from up north could get home in time.
Yeah.
As opposed to getting out of the stadium at midnight.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
It's a good thing.
But I think that the fan base is really appreciative of the effort that was put forth yesterday by the team, and I think that they're going to want to show their support for this team on Sunday and how much they appreciate what they have. I'm a little hesitant, but I still think that Benfica will win. So, what else? I think that's all we got.
Before we let my boy Dave from Orlando go.
No, we have a couple things that we need to discuss with Dave still.
Maybe I say I had an important question.
You have questions for him?
I have an important one.
Vai lá, então.
Dave.
What's up?
If Luis Vieira walks into your garage, what dish are you serving him, bro?
Ooh, man.
Let's go in gears.
Something slimy.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I
don't know. I'm trying to think of something that maybe that nasty cozida that you were talking about in the beginning of the call.
Cozida portuguesa is banging though.
I think so too, but Alfredo seemed to think it was.
You don't like
No, I meant nasty, but in a good way.
Oh, okay. I thought you
I didn't mean it like in a bad way.
Rodriguez, I didn't want to instigate, but I
I'm
thought
not
it was
a-
kind of rude. I'm like, my mom's.
No, I said nasty, but like nasty. Like Cristiano says, that guy is nasty.
But I didn't want to bring attention to it. But I'm like,
No, I
thought you meant nasty because there was like pig nose in it.
No, I think your mom is actually
this guy's a nice
hilarious.
guy. He didn't turn off the camera after that. I would.
Let me. No wonder he didn't. He had a straight face for a good 10 minutes when he started. No, I gotta be honest because I'm not a big cozido guy. I like the enchidos. I like the chorizo, the morcella, chorizo sung. I love all that crap, but I'm not a big fan of the meat and pig's ears and all
See,
that.
I'm the opposite. I won't eat the pig's ears and that enchilada. That pig's ears you could eat. The pés, the chispos you could eat. Those chorizos and the morcellas. Now give me chicken, the regular chorizo. The obviously there's pork. Os ossinhos do porco, com o arroz feito na bolinha no molho do cozido. Oh, cookers, I'm onto something or what? O arrozinho, as coisas, umas cenourinhas, umas batatinhas, isso aí com um tintolo ali ao lado. Esquece. I'm in glory. I'm in a glory day. So now don't do that for Luis Oliveira. Enguias, but not the fried ones. The fried ones are good. Do the ones que aquilo, mas não tires o ranho. Don't put them in sand. Tem que meter na areia para take out that. Don't do that. Just dá-lhe assim que o gajo ele adora essa. Eu gosto de chupar aquilo.
Dave, if you had to name one of your dishes after André Almeida, what would be in that dish?
That nasty cozido.
Man, I don't know. Probably something I put on the sideline for a while, man. Well, I'd assign him bacalhau because that's one of those things that I kind of stick to the side. I don't really eat too much of. So
no.
His card. He lost
bacalhau. When I was growing up, I'm sure much like you guys, like we ate it so much that I eventually just kind of got sick of it. Like I'll eat it, but it's not one of it's just one of those things I ate so much.
But you've made a lot of things a brás.
Oh yeah, I definitely do. But I mean, I'll eat bacalhau if the time's right. I just don't eat it every week, you know.
Yeah,
I'll eat that like twice a week.
What's your go-to? What's your go-to dish?
I think beef funners are my go-to just because like they're quick and easy and stuff. Let me think what else. I'm trying to get more into like pastries and stuff. I made pastéis nata today, so I kind of
saw the picture. They look delicious.
Oh man, dude, we ate all of them already. And my son's babysitter is Brazilian. I gave her some too. Everybody was loving them. But no, I think beef funners is like my most like go-to thing. Or I try to make like really crazy sandwiches and stuff on the videos to try to kind of get people talking. You know, stuff that you don't usually see them mix.
Yeah, there's a lot of good things on here, man.
Eu não vou comer a casa desse gajo. Não gosto de bacalhau.
Epa, but that doesn't mean he can't cook it for you.
Tá bem.
Bro, you come to my house, man. I'll make you a good marisco with some sapateira, camarão aguilho. You know, I'm great with seafood, with like mariscos type seafood. But yeah, man, I think bacalhau just kind of hits me the wrong way.
Faz-me dar fome.
What is the one dish that you've gotten the most views on, or do you keep track of that?
Yeah. So I have one video on TikTok where I got 1.9 million, and it's just me lighting up a chorizo on fire with aguardiente. That's it. Like I don't.
In the porquinho.
Yeah. It's like a 10-second clip of me doing that, and that thing blew up, man, and people love it. So and like, you guys know the Portuguese kids, the comedy group? So they have like an online Portuguese store where they sell the porquinho. So they started sponsoring me. We started selling a shit ton of
Shop Portuguese.
Yeah. But that one kind of blew up. So I think people just get a kick out of every time I light that thing up. So I try to do that every once in a while.
I believe we've not me, but we've asked these guys to come on the pod over the last 10 years, once or twice. But those guys, they don't want any smoke.
I'll tell you what, man. Derek is the one I'm closest to, and I think his family's Sportingistas, man.
Yeah. No, that I know because Timo's pretty close to them also, and Timo's told him one of those guys is Sportingista.
Don't say that guy's name on the pod.
You don't say Timo's name on the pod.
The bearded one.
What's the matter? You guys are fighting?
No, he stole my idea.
He stole your idea. Hey, ideas are free, man. Anybody could come up with.
So they're all Sportingistas.
I don't know about all of them, but they're from the Açores too. So like,
how many are there?
I think there's the Açores.
the Açores.
There's three.
Now I know why they
Currently.
don't want to go. They're from Açores, bro. I don't have a lot of fans.
Yeah,
in
you
Açores.
burned that bridge, bro. When you said the sort of fields are garbage.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you said that
Not their
field in the Açores
fields.
is garbage.
You say fields. Now, see, when you disrespected his mother, I didn't bring attention to it. Now you saying fields.
It's nasty, but in a good way.
You're throwing me on top of that pig that you saw the chorizo, bro. Come on. These fields. Field, I said. Field. Singular, not plural.
Santa Clara.
I say fields. Not everybody in Açores is going to hate me. Just the Santa Clara fans. Because their draining system is outdated. That's it. That shit look like a river about my town.
You got a bunch of shit because of that. What you guys also don't know is that Dave is also an author. He wrote a book called 100 Portuguese Moments that's available on Barnes & Noble. And I checked it out, man. I haven't bought it yet, but I checked it out. It's a nice hardcover. It's nice. What's that book about, man?
So it's basically like I'm sure you guys will relate to it, but like I just picked out like 100 of my core memories, man, of where my mom just embarrassed the shit out of me in front of my like American friends and stuff, and I kind of just jotted them down and I put them in this book, and it's just stuff like bringing chorizo sandwiches to lunch while everybody else is eating tuna fish and peanut butter, or my mom used to work on the same street that we went to school at, and our cafeteria was in the basement. And she would come knocking on the window. Oh, Dave, estás a comer? And all my friends would be like, hey, is that your mom up in the window? So just crazy stuff like that. I mean, I just started jotting it down, and then I just had this idea of like, man, if I make the book kind of look cool, people will put it in their living room and stuff, So it kind of that's kind of what it is. It's kind of like a funny book they can read in like 15 minutes. It's just a bunch of little stories, and it looks cool,
Yeah.
My wife actually strategically placed it here for you guys to see.
Yeah, no, dude, go grab that real quick and bring it, show it to the camera so people
What's he
can
getting,
see.
a box of quinas?
Huh?
Oh, I thought he was getting a case of quinas.
No.
He's got his book. For putting it there, but yeah, this is what it looks like, man. It's just a nice hardcover. It's kind of pretty simple on the inside. Yeah. There's a lot of like all the stories are like super short like that. So
yeah, that's awesome, man.
It's like a kind of like a joke book. There's some pictures. Look, there's me in a Benfica shirt at like 3 years old, actually, right there.
That's awesome, bro.
And that page says, if it wasn't soccer, I wasn't allowed to play it. And that's the truth, right?
It's so Portuguese. Even that thing that you were saying that in the summer you and your sister would stay home by yourself while your mom went to. That's such a Portuguese, and you weren't allowed out.
Yeah,
you weren't allowed out
outside. I wasn't allowed to cross the street until I was like 14, man.
No, that's very typical, man, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to a lot of those memories and what it is to grow up Portuguese, man, for sure.
It's a funny story. I was just telling you, my son's babysitter is Brazilian. We just hired her a few weeks ago, and my mom texted me like 2 days ago, like, don't let her take him out on the stroller because she might disappear with your son, And I'm like, Mom, like, what the hell are you talking about, But they think of the craziest like scenarios, like this babysitter's gonna run off with my kid or whatever. But
that is so Portuguese, man. That is so Portuguese. We all have memories of our parents and how we were raised, and especially here in the States, and with the half Portuguese, half English.
Yeah. Vocês estão aí com histórias muito lindas, but look what you started. I don't, and look, Chris, porra, São Miguel is the most beautiful part of. See what I mean? I didn't knock.
I
knocked the draining system on the football field. That was it. I love I don't understand what the hell you guys say, but I love you guys.
I don't understand what you're saying.
I don't know what you're saying, but I love you guys. Life.
I was gonna say, like, a lot of people that do like social media stuff and like videos that represent the Portuguese community online, a lot of them are Açorians. So like I get a lot of like feedback from people that like I'm kind of repping the continent, like I'm the only one without that accent that's doing this. So like I kind of take some pride in that, man. I'm like the one non-Açorian kind of like building something, I guess, like comedy wise online for us. But
fantastic, man.
Yeah.
They are a little hard to understand sometimes, man.
Hey Dave, so what's next?
Now you're gonna get ripped.
You're gonna get ripped. So Dave, what's next for you, man, in terms of growing this brand that you just as a pastime you created?
Yeah, so my mom's coming back here in a few weeks, so I'm gonna film some more content with her because every time she's in my videos, it blows up, man. My mom's
does, man. Your mom is funny.
Yeah, so like a couple of blocks away from me, Nani lives there, the Sporting player, or the ex-Sporting player, and he's not here right now. He's in Italy. But one of my ideas is to take my mom to his house with like a tray of sardinhas and just ring his doorbell, man, and just see what he says and film it. But I definitely want to do something like that. But This year, by the summertime, I'm going to take a trip to Portugal and I'm going to film a lot of content there. I want to try to get in like some like restaurants and like film in the kitchen and talk to some like cooks over there and just kind of mix it up with them, half English, half Portuguese, like I do here. And I kind of just want to film some stuff over there because I think people over there kind of get a kick out of when people like us can speak Portuguese well. They don't understand like how we do it. Like, wait, but you weren't born here. Like, how are you speaking to us right now? You know, so you kind of start throwing some words that they don't expect you to say. You can kind of get a rise out of people. So I want to film some content in Portugal this summer and kind of bring that. I want to bring that into my page and not just my kitchen.
And always in the Instagram and TikTok platform, right?
Yeah, so TikTok and Instagram, it's how to cook stuff. We're actually building like a site right now. It's going to be called How to Cook Portuguese Stuff. So all the videos will be have like written form recipes with measurements and stuff because I don't do that right now. I just kind of I don't really measure anything, but we're trying to clean it up a little bit because people keep asking me, and I don't really want to do a cookbook or I don't got the time for that right now with the baby and stuff. So we're doing like an online blog with my recipes and stuff. So hopefully people enjoy that and can kind of keep making the stuff I'm making.
Awesome, man. That's great.
That's awesome.
No, I really, I really like. I turned on my wife to your Instagram page, and we absolutely love it. We actually, when I get home, he goes, "Oh, did you see that the dish that chorizo and whatever?" And it's like, yeah. So it looks delicious. So like, we get ideas, man, and it's pretty awesome, man. It's awesome, man.
What I really like to hear from people, like I get a lot of people that are like younger than our generation. They're like, maybe 15, 16 years old now, and they tell me that they watch my videos with their parents, and their parents are like my age and your guys' age, and it's really cool that I feel like they use me as kind of like a bridge of like this pop culture thing, but also like I remind them of their dad, I guess, so it's pretty cool to see that, like, some people that were kind of losing the culture a little bit are kind of hopping back on board.
Awesome, man. Great. Well, it was great having you on, man. You wanna plug anything? We already said Instagram, How to Cook Stuff, TikTok, How to Cook Stuff. The book is available. What is it? 100 Portuguese Moments?
Yeah, so it's 100 Portuguese Moments in a not so Portuguese world. You can get it on Barnes and Noble or Etsy. All the links are in my Instagram and my TikTok to all this stuff. But yeah, it's a pretty cool book. It's a fun read, man. It's really good around Christmas and stuff. People like to give it as gifts. But yeah, just How to Cook Stuff on TikTok, Instagram, and I think on Facebook it's How to Cook Portuguese Stuff because I couldn't get that name. But yeah, come follow me, and I hope you guys don't mind my language if you do follow me because it gets kind of nasty and people don't really like it. But
no, I think that's the best part.
I think so too, man. Dude, my mom would say that to us every day at dinner. Come whatever. So this is just stuff that, like, I mean, it's kind of like I'm putting on a little show because I don't really talk like that in real life. But this is all stuff my mom said to us growing up. Like she would curse at us. She's just crazy and stuff. So I kind of just repeat a lot of the stuff her and my grandma said to us growing up. But some people get offended by it. Some people get offended by me saying the word pork chop, man. But I use it as a term of endearment and stuff.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, man. I mean, my language is what it is. We're Portuguese, man. We kind of just let loose in the tongue.
Yeah, man. No, I think that's what's unique about your videos is because it has that personality of yours, which is, as we're talking to you right now, is very different from this persona that you have on Instagram, which is relaxed, loose. Is like, oh, here it is. If you don't like it. Whatever, but it's fun, man. It's a fun account. It's nice and short in terms of the videos. You can learn a lot, even for a lame-o like me that doesn't cook much. It's great, man. It's been great following you, man. And also, finding out that you were a fan of the podcast, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, man. We go way back, man. I have memories of you guys like covering like the International Champions Cup when they were over here and stuff and kind of traveling around. And I think like when I first got to Orlando, like in 2013, and I think I subscribed to your guys' podcast in 2015. You guys must have been one of the first podcasts I ever listened to, period. I must have went on there, typed in Benfica, typed in WWE, because those are my two things that I'm into. And I think that like I was just trying to get a taste of like some home. So I listened to you guys. And I listened to this podcast in Portugal called Linha Avançada. You guys know that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like a quick 5-minute thing. And I would just listen to you guys and them just to get that taste of home, man. And like, man, it's like, even just once a week, just hearing you guys just bullshit about Benfica and I'm on the car ride home from work, man. Like, I only get to speak Portuguese once a week with my mom. So just to hear you guys do it and like talk about Benfica, it's really special, man. So thank you guys for doing this as long as you did have, because it's been entertaining to me all these years, and now I get to actually meet you guys. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome, man. That's great. That's great. Once we go to Disneyland, we got to stop in
Disney World
for some sardines, some sardines and stuff.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. That's awesome, man. Thanks for accepting our invitation and spending a couple hours with us, man. And I'm sorry if we pulled you away from your family.
No, man. Everybody's sleeping. I was watching wrestling in the other room, so we're good.
There you go. Yeah, man. But I advise everyone to go and follow Dave, and as I mentioned, How to Cook Stuff on Instagram and TikTok, and look for him on Facebook and look for big things and learn some things. Dave de Oliveira. Parting words.
Oh, hey, what's up?
I'm still here. I was getting hungry with all this food talk here. It's late at night, but actually, when Alfredo mentioned that you were coming on, Dave, it said you're one of the few people I follow on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok often, but you're one of the few that I follow. Your bifanas just get me all the time. So I had a bifana in your honor today at lunch when Alfredo said that you were coming on here. So
nice.
Other than that, I think it's one of our more positive podcasts here this week here tonight. So good to have you on, and let's keep this positive. We've only got 8-10 games here going on for the rest of the season, so let's keep this up here.
Chris, diz bye-bye aos meninos.
Arrivederci. Dave, man, appreciate you coming on with us for a few minutes, a little bit more than a few minutes. Appreciate your positivity. Appreciate you not coming on with some rants and shitting on Verissimo. And keep up the great work, man. It's always positive when we have Portuguese people representing our own. And you're doing a fantastic job. So give us a shout out on Instagram because we don't post much. So, I mean, it's a fault of our own. Mas os nossos números are a little weak. We
need somebody to manage our social media.
We do. But all jokes aside, man, fantastic, bro. I love your content, and just keep it up, man. And
thanks, man.
Anytime you want to come on, anytime you want to cook for us, hit us up. We'll be around.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Thanks for checking us out. Next week, we'll be back and we'll recap this Estoril game. There's an international break after that, and then we'll play Braga on the 3rd of March, if I'm not mistaken. April. Sorry. March is where we're at. Take care, everyone. Later.
Peace.